All right, so boom. Life happens fast, bro. It felt like just the other day, y'all. It felt like just the other day we was talking like, bro, how many y'all gonna run off with? And then Brad Stevens like, yeah, you know what? Let's get under this second apron because I'm still getting familiar with the aprons, but I do know it's called the repeater tax. I do think it's some penalties if you go in the second apron like multiple years, if I'm not mistaken. I feel like that's something you gotta look at. You got new ownership too. You got the Tatum injury, you got the Brown injury. Y'all, the fact that y'all got off a Jrue and Kristaps so like it felt kind of effortless. It was seamless for real. I feel like Brad Stevens is the top GM in the game, but I do applaud y'all because it's like yet again the Celtics are being competent. But I want to talk real quick about this little break year that y'all gonna have real quick. So you pretty much like from a Celtics fan, next year is a wash. That's how you feeling.
As far as competing for a championship, yeah, we'll be a playoff team for sure because the roster is
You
still
think y'all
good.
gonna be a
Jaylen,
playoff team?
oh yeah, yeah, they'll for sure be a playoff team. Yeah,
Mm.
Jaylen Brown's gonna lead the way. He'll be the number one option. It's a good opportunity for him. And it's still a decent team on paper. We don't have any bigs right now, so we have to go get a big to replace. I mean, I don't think Al Horford's going to be here. Obviously, we traded Porzingis, so it's basically Kita is all we got right now. But I think I like the opportunity for the young guys we got on the team to be able to play. We got the MVP of the G League, JD Davison. He can finally get some run, maybe see what he can do in the league. We got the rookie who I'm big on, Hugo Gonzalez. I really want to see him play. 19 years old, great passer. I want to see what he can do in the league. Peyton Pritchard, obviously 6 man of the year. He's going to be coming back. Derek White, we still got. He's got a high trade demand right now. A lot of teams want Derek White, so we'll see if he's still on the roster. Drafted the center Amari Williams, so we'll see if he's going to be G League on the roster. But I think it's a good opportunity for the young guys. I don't think we're gonna be contending for a championship though. Even though the East is pretty down right now, it's just not having Tatum and him being gone for most likely the entire year is tough. There's talks about Dame possibly coming here. There's talks about Bradley Beal wanting to play with Tatum. So we'll see how that goes. But as of right now, yeah, it's just gonna be maybe six seed play-in team, and then yeah, that'll
You
be it.
said Bradley Bill.
That's the rumor is that Bradley Beal wants to come play with Tatum. Him and Tatum are real cool from
I
St.
know they got the
Louis,
St. Louis
and
connection. What's that? So that's like
yeah.
that's a buyout.
Well, they were saying that Bradley Beal was saying that he would waive his no trade clause if Boston wanted him. I don't know if Boston wants him, but the rumor is that he would come play in Boston. He would waive his no trade clause, or if he got bought out, he would like to come play with Tatum, even though Tatum
Ouch.
was going through a rehab year. So I don't particularly want that. I'd rather have Dame coming off his injury than have Bradley Beal. But we'll see. But either way, down year, get some experience for the young guys. Let Jaylen Brown do his thing as a true number one option, and then hopefully that Tatum rehabs perfectly and he comes back healthy for the following season.
All right, roll with me real quick. I'm finna pull up from 50. It's next year an audition year for Jaylen Brown.
Oh,
Potentially.
absolutely, absolutely. Because like you said, new ownership. If they're not trying to have both these heavy contracts on the roster, I think odd man out would be like Brown. I think they would prefer to keep Tatum over Brown just based off his superstar face of league potential and all of that. And so whether you like it or not, because I think they're both great and I think they're a great duo. But with these new cap rules and stuff, you kind of gotta can't have two guys. Well, you can have two guys with those $300 million contracts, but it's tough. So yeah, it's definitely an audition year for Jaylen Brown. I feel like anytime he's on the court now, it's an audition year because he has to feel like he's kind of not expendable, but like team like they're looking at him like if we had to get rid of somebody and make an impact and kind of get a return, he would be the guy that would get you that return. Would be Jaylen Brown. Like that, I just don't see them trading Tatum, so he knows he's the next one up. So I think he always knows that he's kind of got that microscope on him, and a lot of teams would like him, and he would do good for a lot of teams, and they could get a lot for him. So I think he's been playing like that for a while now. So I think it's just nice for him to be able to go out there as that true number one now and kind of show what he can do.
Yeah, because I knew the pivot was on the way, but I feel like this is a mini rebuild for it because y'all still got your cornerstones in Tatum and Brown. You just gotta wait for one to get healthy. But I didn't know how far down to the studs Brad Stevens was gonna tear it down. And y'all lost Luke Cornett to the Spurs. The
Yeah.
Spurs, they making one great move after another as well. And I feel like that's gonna be a loss too. As of right now, do y'all still have Sam Hauser?
Yeah, we got Hauser. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's like I feel like it's like a mini rebuild. I feel like by the time Tatum get back, we all praying for a great recovery for him. Hopefully he can get back to where he was, because the last time we seen him, he was probably finna have a game of his life for real. But what are your expectations upon return? Because I'm not gonna say that y'all not gonna make the playoffs. I could see play in, maybe eighth seed type stuff. What's your expectations like after the dust settles? Once Tatum gets back, what you
Well, for
thinking?
one, I hope we don't play him this upcoming season. I hope he, even if he says he's healthy and good to go, if it's like towards like the end of the season going into the playoffs, I hope they just sit him, let him get that extra however many months, 5 months it'll be to just get right, get your wind, and be more comfortable. Because I mean, it's not an easy injury to come back from. Even though medicine and stuff is better, still psychologically, there's gonna be a lot to get over. So I'd rather him just sit out the entire season, wait till the 2026-2027 season, and let him come back for that. So that's my expectation. Don't play him. There's no need to. Even if he comes back at the end of the season, our roster is just not gonna be like championship ready. So it's not worth it. But when he does come back, I don't expect him to have like a big drop off. I think he could still be the same player. It just comes down to his mental if he's comfortable. That's really all it is. Because
Mhm.
he's only 27 years old. So it's not like Dame who's 35 coming off the injury, 34, 35. He's 27. He's entering his prime right now, so he should have plenty of good years ahead of him.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with this mini rebuild. I feel like you have to go to the next iteration of Celtics basketball with Tatum and Brown. It's just the fact that since they won a championship, you got to talk yourself into at least trying to run it back, even though you got this high bill with all of these salaries. That's fine. You could justify it if you say we could win another championship, but that didn't happen. And it's an immediate pivot. And I like the fact that Brad Stevens got ahead of this before the repeater tax came in. It's just that I'm thinking, how can y'all really construct the roster moving forward for real? I do like the Anthony Simons pickup. I'm a fan of him. I know he's not the best on defense, but he can light it up from the field. I feel like he'll be a good complement to Jaylen Brown and Derek White in Tatum's absence. How you feel about Simons coming in?
Yeah, I like the pickup for sure. I just like getting like a younger, like a player that's he's shown that he can score, that he can put the ball in the bucket. He played on kind of a lower tier team in Portland, being stuck there for those years. He's played alongside a superstar before, so he knows what it's like. I would like him to be able to get an opportunity to play for what I think we will be a contender going forward. Like not this season, but going forward, I think we'll be back in that contendership. So I'm looking forward if we keep him on the roster, because there's rumors that we may not even keep him. But if we keep him on the roster, I like the opportunity for him to be able to really put up numbers on the big stage in front of and play like meaningful minutes. But on the side note, I do think that this Celtics team, or like this past season's team, they know they dropped the ball because like even in that Knicks series, you can't give up 20-point leads and just they get too comfortable. They go on cruise control, and that really came back to bite them because to say that doesn't happen and they make it to another finals and possibly win another finals, we may be talking about a like they may decide to just let it ride out for another season, when since they blew those games, they said you had to blow it up early because like you said, we were talking about three peats possibly last year. So I think they know they dropped the ball. I think they know they're a better team than how they played, and you still got the core there. So I mean, well, the core minus obviously Holiday and Porzingis, but you still got Pritchard, you still got Hauser, Brown, Tatum. So that's still you got your core there, so they can make another run, but it's gonna be just let the road to recovery, let them get that done, and then just run it back. They'll be all right.
Before we dip, real quick, I want to ask you. I saw some little Derek White talk. It was brief though. It was brief. I wasn't a fan of the talk. I feel like you got to keep Derek White. I feel like he's that third player to like your cornerstones. I feel like he's necessary. Derek White lost. If say Tatum comes back healthy, Brown is still doing his thing. Brown is going to be severely missed. What he provides on both ends of the floor. I just didn't like. I wasn't a fan of the talks at all. How was you feeling about that brief Derek White rumor?
I I would prefer to keep Derek White. I think he's one of those guys that you can't, especially with the roster right now, you can't really replace him.
Right.
But I understand that if you got a possibility, because they were talking about, I think the whole talks came about is because they were looking at the Ace Bailey situation and him sliding down the draft board and him kind of trying to pick and choose where he wanted to go. So I think the rumor is that the Celtics were saying like if he's there at that Toronto pick and Toronto really wants Derek White, we'll see if we can put a package together with Derek White and maybe some picks to get Ace Bailey. I think that's why the talks kind of happened. But I don't think that outside of that, I don't think we would trade him for like anything else. I think that was just kind of like a dream scenario that didn't end up panning out. So I think he's gonna stick here. I think they know how crucial he is to the offense and defense, and just everything he brings to the like he does. He literally does everything. So you can't, especially after trading Jrue Holiday, you can't really let him go.
Well, that's the Celtics pivot, man. I appreciate you, Brody.
I appreciate you, man.
Hey.